you haven't competed since May of 2022. So what has the physical transformation been like to flyweight?
Yeah, I think just progressively, I've like early on in my career, I was maybe a smaller strawweight, you would say, and then over time as I've matured and my body changed, each fight the cut would get bigger and bigger. And this last fight, I think the fight with Carla, I think that weight cut I finally had like the sunken in eyes, and you know what I mean, like the thing that most fighters kind of deal with, and I didn't like that. I never really enjoyed cutting weight anyways. Like, or I never really liked when people did like those huge cuts. A little bit's okay, you know, but, I think I started to see myself kind of going down that path. And, yeah. And then it was sort of in the back of my mind anyways. I still didn't really have too much like trouble making weight, I guess. Like it was tough, but I don't think in comparison was it as bad as like most fighters deal with, but I still never liked that. I feel like you know, taking punches when you're it takes a while. I think it takes more than 24 hours to rehydrate your brain after cutting that much water. So to take punches like that and then your kidneys and everything. So yeah, I forgot the question was, but yeah, I guess the process of me like putting on more, like I just started getting bigger and like naturally. And then on top of that, once I decided to take, you know, to move up, I lifted more weights. I ate a little bit more. I actually started eating breakfast again, stopped fasting so much. Like I would fast once a week when I was at strawweight. So and I still fasted a couple times during this camp, but I just kind of just ate a little more and lifted weights more. And I naturally put on like a couple pounds of muscle and maybe a little bit of some juice, you know, a little bit of fat. But no, and then I think, and then naturally as I gotten, you know, closer to this fight, like the weight started just kind of coming off naturally.
Well, Rose is obviously a former champion. You were hoping to fight for the title. You got injured. Did you get any word from the UFC that if you win, because now we saw Aaron Blanchfield win, so do you know if you win that you're next for the title, or do you feel like you need to put on a big performance to make sure it's you?
Moi, je suis sûre à 100% que si je fais un beau combat ce soir-là, je vais combattre pour la ceinture pour le combat d'après. Au vu des performances d'Erin Blanchfield et de Taila Santos, je suis sûr à 100% qu'après ce combat, je combattrai pour le titre.
No, I'm 100% sure that if I put in a good performance in this fight, and considering the performance that we've seen from Santos and Blanchfield, I'm going to be fighting for the belt. I'm 100% convinced by that.
And when you say that, does that mean you were not impressed with Aaron's win?
Non, pas du tout impressionné par sa victoire. Après, je m'y attendais un peu, puisque jusqu'à maintenant, elle n'avait pas encore affronté d'adversaire de haut niveau. Donc là, on a pu voir son vrai niveau et voilà.
No, I wasn't impressed at all, actually, because until this point, she never really fought against an opponent at a high level. And I think this fight showed her real level. And so I wasn't really that impressed, no.
And with that all being said, is flyweight your permanent home now?
Yeah, flyweight, I can't see myself going back down again, you know, like that, I don't know, like now I'm kind of naturally just walking around at like 135. So, or waking up at 135. So to go all the way down to 115 would be tough.
And you're fighting Manon Fiorot, who's top contender. Some people felt like she probably would have gotten a title shot if she didn't get injured. You said she's a challenge that excites you. What is it about Manon that excites you?
Yeah, I think just her like traditional martial arts background, her coming from karate, I come from taekwondo, you know, just her movement, her length and like her height. You know, everybody kind of says like, oh, you know, flyweights are bigger and this and that, but like I feel like fighting some of the shorter fighters at strawweight was kind of more of a challenge for me sometimes. This is going to be a totally different challenge. And of course, like, you know, I'm going to respect the power that she brings and maybe her strength and stuff like that. But I also feel a lot stronger and a lot like quicker and just overall healthier.
And because she's a top contender, is it safe to say you expect a title shot with win?
No expectations. You know, I just hope and pray that that God uses me in a way that I can, glorify him and hopefully like that I put on a good performance and that I can inspire people and hopefully, everything else just kind of takes care of itself. But yeah, that would definitely be a dream come true, to be, like I said, that was in my goals, but I'm not, looking too far ahead. I'm just kind of in the moment.
And one more from me. Rose was saying how she was kind of looking for something that motivated her. And she said the fight against you motivates her, your karate background, your style of fighting. So I was wondering what your thoughts on her saying that.
Ben, Rose est une adversaire très connue. Elle fait partie des meilleures combattantes pour moi. Elle est dans le top 5 du meilleur combattant classé. Donc pour moi, c'est une fierté de combattre une adversaire et surtout une ancienne championne de la catégorie. Pour moi, c'est un premier gros test avant le combat pour la ceinture.
Well, I think Rose is one of the best fighters we've seen. She's an incredible fighter. I personally put her in top 5 in the rankings. She's a former champion as well. So it's a massive test for me as well before I want to go and get that fight for the belt.
Merci. Does it bother you that people judge you off of that last performance when you've given us so many amazing knockouts and fights and highlights?
It did at first, but like I kind of deserved it. You know what I mean? Like I was a little bitter. But yeah, like I just had to kind of get out of my feelings a little bit and realize that, yeah, like I might have things and challenges that I deal with, but it's that's not anybody else's business, right? So they're just here to be inspired, to be entertained, or to learn something. And that's my job as a martial artist, is to go out there and do my job. And I did my job, but like I definitely could have did a better job. So yeah, it was a process, but yeah.
Rose, just one more on that. Did you watch the fight back? And when you did, what did you think of the commentary? Because I remember listening to it that night thinking they were pretty harsh on both of you guys and they were kind of shitting on it basically. I'm wondering if you had any thoughts on that.
No, that was definitely like one of the most boring fights ever. So, but like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess being the fighter, like it feels a little different, when somebody's like, because it's not just a sport for me. It's like, it's an art. And so, when somebody critiques your art, you get a little emotional about it. But ultimately, like, that's fair to say what they had to say, because it was really nothing really happened. I just, I was kind of in my feelings about it, because I felt like, okay, it's that there's always this like unspoken thing of like the challenger's got to take it in order to get it, right? But whatever, it's my fault.
I begin in English for 2 questions, then in French. Is this the perfect fight for you to build a name in the USA? Because Rose is a huge star there, and maybe for the American people and the people around the world, is the fight that you need to build a name before your title fight. What do you think about that?
Oui, c'est ça. Je pense que pour moi, c'est le combat parfait. C'est le combat qui me manquait dans ma carrière. J'ai affronté des combattantes solides, mais j'avais pas encore affronté une combattante aussi connue que Rose. Et pour moi, c'est une fierté, un honneur de combattre Rose.
Yeah, I'm incredibly proud to be fighting against Rose. I think it's the fight that I needed in my career. I've fought against tough opponents, but this is obviously a step up for me personally. So I'm very happy and proud that this is the fight that I'm going to do.
MMA is quite new in France, and if you win the belt in the future, can we expect a Ronda Rousey effect with the French fans?
J'espère en tout cas, parce que le MMA français et surtout le MMA féminin est encore peu connu ici en France, et j'espère que ça va aider à ouvrir vraiment aux combattantes féminines et que le public va s'ouvrir au combat féminin.
I really hope so, because I think MMA, and particularly women's MMA in France, is quite new. So I hope that can open the door to a bigger publicity and a bigger window and eye hole really on women's MMA.
Do you feel like because you took a while to slowly move up in weight, you feel like you've been able to sort of not lose the speed that you once had?
Yeah, I also think like I'm healthier too, but also like I'm more mature and like experienced, and I feel like my timing's gotten a lot better. Like I'm doing the things that I would do on accident when I was younger. But I'm actually understanding why I'm doing what I'm doing. So it's like it's kind of a little bit of everything, being healthier, but also like being more experienced.
Hey Rose, welcome
Hey.
to Paris. I have a question from the French audience because we are live on Twitch right now. They just want to know, what do you consider as the biggest threat from Manon Fiorot game style, fighting style?
Yeah. I guess I would say like her, the center line, you know, that she kind of, she's very linear, you know, and like her kicks and her strikes, you know, I'd say, are, she's really good at keeping her distance and range. And so basically it comes down to like footwork and timing and range and distance and angles. And so, yeah, I'm fully prepared for that. And that's why I really was excited for this matchup, because of like what she brings to the table, her karate background.
All right. And considering the fact that you are pretty balanced in your style, you can strike, you can wrestle, you can go on the ground. How do you prepare yourself? Do you see that fight like going into the wrestle when you can have an advantage, or how do you visualize it?
I mean, and that's the thing is, I see myself using all of my mixed martial arts skills. You know, I'm not just a striker, I'm not just a grappler. Like I use it all. So I expect there to be a little bit everything in this fight. Even herself, she's pretty well rounded as well. She likes to maybe secure a takedown, you know, a few times in a round. Or if it's a close round, she kind of like does that. So as far as what we've seen, but I'm also like ready for the unexpected too. Like, you know, I'm not gonna say like this is what we've seen from her, so this is all she's gonna do. So but I expect myself to be, you know, all of mixed martial arts.
All right. And last one for me. And with 1 year without fighting, how do you avoid the ring rust and everything, and considering the fact that you're moving up to another weight division?
Yeah, I never really believed in ring rust. I always felt like, because I'm always training and I'm always a martial artist. Like if I was just like an athlete or something, like okay, but I'm always in the mindset of like a fight can happen at any moment. So to me, it's like, yeah, and sometimes those long breaks are good to like actually get better, because when you're constantly like in a fight camp, you're a lot of the times just focused on like just you're focused on very specific things rather than just kind of getting better as a whole.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.